Some people have seen where God has brought you from. You don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know
The
my
things.
story.
Good evening, GX family, here in the UK and all around the world. How are you all doing? Welcome to Michelle Hemmings' Organ Donation Life Stories. I'd just like to say that I'm feeling blessed today. It's a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope you're all feeling blessed right about now. It is so good to be here. For all those who are new to this show, to Michelle Hemmings' Organ Donation Show, I'd just like to introduce you to myself. So I'm Michelle Hemmings, and I had an organ transplant about 3 years ago. I had a single lung transplant, and I was sick for about 22 years. I am here to encourage and inspire others about organ donation and about my journey. I have got a very special guest on tonight, and his name is Patrick White. He's got a story to tell us, and I'd like to bring him on. Okay, welcome, Patrick White.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hey, it's so good to see you. How you doing?
Likewise, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And you? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling blessed. I'm glad to be here. So, Patrick, I know you got a story to tell us, but I'm just going to ask you a few questions before we go into your story. Please,
Yeah.
can you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us whereabout in the UK are you from?
Okay. I'm Patrick White. I'm from Birmingham, which is we call it the heart of the UK, of England, because it's right in the centre. And I live in the east of Birmingham, in an area called Stetchford. So that's where I reside at the moment.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now, Patrick, I know you have a story to tell our listeners. Could you tell us a bit about your journey?
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll probably start from the ending and work backwards. Well,
Okay.
I've lost 10 stones or thereabouts in weight, which is 140 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the last couple of years, I've just really decided to take my health and my well-being seriously. So my story really is from as far back as I can. Well, definitely from about the ages of about 7 to 8. I was, I was an overweight. I was quite a fat chap.
Oh, okay.
So I've struggled with my weight or being overweight for most of my life, to be quite honest. From primary school right the way up to secondary school,
Okay.
into my late teens, I was always overweight, and it's just got worse, it's just my weight has just increased year in year out.
Okay.
Even though I round about 2000, I'd say 2004, 2005, I had lost quite a bit of weight. I was doing like a Weight Watchers thing, and tried to tackle my health then, and like my overweight, being overweight. So that was then. But then, what happens is, because you lose it really quickly and you feel really good, but then you start slipping back into old habits, and that's what happened basically. So
Okay.
so that's what happened. And so again, I just gained and got up to about 24 stone
Wow.
um over that. And so yeah, and that, but the last couple of years I just started walking, being more active, and just watching what I ate, or actually just naturally eating less. So my appetite became smaller while I was moving more at the same time. And yeah, that
Okay.
just resulted in me losing weight without me, because I wasn't making a conscious effort at the time. I was just it was just how my life was. So yeah, that's basically um yeah, that really started it. So I'd say the last 2.5 years, that really I started walking more, and then the weight was coming
Okay.
off without me even realizing. And so yeah, that's it in a nutshell, really,
Okay.
to
Great.
where I'm at today.
Thank you. Okay. I think the listeners probably wondering, this is a show about organ donation. Why are we
Mhm.
talking about weight loss? Okay, let me tell you a bit about myself.
Yeah.
So after my transplant, I became steroid induced. So that meant I became a diabetic. So I'm on insulin at the moment. And I know you was a diabetic once upon a time, and now
Yes, I
you're
will.
insulin
Yeah,
free, aren't you?
yeah. Well, I actually didn't have to go on to insulin. I was type 2, so it was tablets. Um,
Okay.
so it was I was able to control it via tablets. But saying I was able to control it, I was able to control it, but
Yeah.
I like so many of us that are diabetic, we fall into bad habits. And again, because it's something that
Mhm.
you literally cannot see,
Yeah.
um, even though you feel the effects of it for a while, then you slip into bad habits. So even to be quite, if I'm going to be totally honest, even with losing the weight, still I still
Yeah.
wasn't managing my diabetes properly, because I love pop, I love, or soda as they'd call it in
I love
America.
my cake. I love my
Yeah, yeah.
cakes.
So,
Oh
so,
gosh.
so sugar, yeah, and I love snacks, like
Yes.
most of the world. So again, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't controlling it properly, even though I was losing weight. But definitely last year, I thought, well, it's no use losing all this weight, but still not controlling my diabetes, and then what can happen. You could lose a toe or a leg, or even your eyesight. These are some of the common things that happen, that can happen with diabetes. So, I just made a more of a conscious effort to control that, and now I'm diabetes free, without
Okay.
without without the help of without having tablets.
That's great. Could you tell us a bit more what else you've been doing to keep yourself fit, i.e., your diet, your health and well-being, your fitness regime?
Well, yeah, because I realized it was just the lifestyle I'd now adopted, which had helped me to lose the weight. So when I did realize that, I thought, right, I'm going to be actually intentional, because I wasn't intentional. I wasn't like, actually, I got to, when I was 49, approaching
Yeah.
my 50th, I was saying,
Hmm.
right, I want to get, my first goal was to get down to about 18 stone. Don't ask me why, but that for me was my first goal. I said, if I
At
could
least you
just
had
get
a
to
goal. At least you
yeah,
had a goal
yeah,
to go
I
to.
had a goal.
Yeah.
But what was happening is that in losing the weight, I hadn't, because I wasn't intentional, but it just became
Hmm.
part of my lifestyle. I didn't
Okay.
like go on any scales or anything to kind of measure where I was, and because about that time I was probably about 20 odd stones. I was about 19 and a half, 20, in the 20s, and that's where I kind of have been for the last few years up to that. So
Okay.
right, I want to lose. I want to get down. I should be able to get to 18 stone for my 50th. 50th
Great.
came and gone, never happened. But because of the lifestyle I'd started to live, just walking more, eating less, the journey had started without me even realizing. So when I went on the
Okay.
scales, probably I'd say mid I'm gonna say about yeah, mid 2019. And my wife says,
Okay.
I'll just get on the scales. And when I went on it, she went, oh, you're 18 something. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was probably about 18 and a half. And that's when I
Oh,
decided, right, I'm gonna become intentional now, because my next goal was to
wow.
get down to about, because I always thought if I got to about 16 and a half stone, because I knew guys that were 16 and a half stone, and I thought, and they looked
Mhm.
all right to me. So I thought that was really my ultimate goal, to get to about 16 and a half stone. So I thought, right, this is where I'm going to become intentional now. But saying
Yeah.
that, I just continued doing what I did. My appetite had gone really, really small, Michelle. Honestly, I
Okay.
could literally go the
Wow.
whole, I could literally go the whole day without eating and not feeling it. And then when I ate, reasonable or to small, and that was it. I was full.
That's
So
great.
so in that respects, my diet changed, but I didn't change it. My body just changed it for me. Um, so yeah, so I just continued walking, but increased the walking. So for instance,
Okay.
I was running a studio on Broad
Mhm.
Street. So instead of like catching the two trains, I'd catch the train from my house, then a
Yeah.
train at town, which was only, it was like the first stop, so it was only like a 4.5 minute, if that, journey from New Street to Five Ways. But instead of doing that, I would get off at New Street, then I'd walk it from New
You're
Street
walking. And how long
up
did
up
that take you?
about 20, 23, 24 minutes to begin
Okay,
with.
not too bad. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
so I walked it up Broad Street, then walked it back when I was catching the train. So Five Ways train station never saw me after seeing me for how long. I just
Okay.
started walking, and then sometimes, as you do, I'm rushing for the train, so I was actually power walking through town. And when it was
Okay.
Christmas, and had the German market, I was trying
Oh
to
yeah.
navigate all that. But yeah, but that pretty much became a daily routine. So increasing my walking. So,
Okay.
okay, fast forward lockdown now. We're in lockdown,
Mm.
and I thought, right, I can't let this get on top of me. So the one thing I knew that I was doing, I was walking. My phone used
Yes.
to tell me, "Oh, congratulations, you've done 10,000 steps for the day." Because I wasn't
Yeah,
even
I
into
like
the
that.
whole step. I wasn't even into the whole like steps, how many steps I were doing, or anything. I was just walking. Um,
Okay.
so yeah. So basically during lockdown I started walking, but I wasn't I wasn't disciplined in it. So like I'd go
Okay.
out probably twice for the week, and I
Yes.
was just like, okay. But again, like other people, I started to gain weight only a little bit, because there was no way I was going to go back to where I was. And
Oh no, no.
I saw the
You have to
writing
keep
on the
on
wall.
going.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw the writing on the wall, because what happened was that my appetite did actually start to increase for whatever reason, I don't know. And I thought,
Okay.
no. So the first thing was to tackle my appetite, to make sure that I kept it under control. And then the next thing was
Okay.
to just regulate. And I think one week I put on 4 pounds, and I thought, no,
Wow.
why did I do that? And that might have been like, it could have been water retention, it could have been partly what I was eating. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but straight away I just put my trainers on, and I thought, right, every day I'm gonna make it a habit. So
Okay.
my body craves it. So even if lockdown finished tomorrow, I'm still gonna want to keep
Still
on
doing it.
walking. So yeah, and that's
Okay.
what I did. Started doing probably about an hour a day. So
Okay.
I just walk up to my local shopping center and
Mm-hmm.
walk back. But then I realized my phone wasn't telling me that I'd clocked 10,000 steps. I'd eventually get there for the day, but that then became my marker, because I was so used to it saying, "Oh, you've done 10,000 steps." So then I basically increased my steps a bit more till I got to, the average was about an hour, 20 minutes, so about 40 minutes one way, 40 minutes back. Um,
Okay.
and then what I was doing that in the evening as well. So I started doing it in the morning, and then because the weather was nice, it's pretty much like it was now.
Yeah.
Like May, May was very nice. So I was going out in the evenings as well because there was nothing else to do. Well, there were things to do, but
Mm.
people were just sitting on the telly, just absorbing all the news, all the bad news and everything. And I thought,
The walking is good. It's best for you
yeah,
than just
oh,
sitting down.
definitely. It has so many levels of of um of goodness for you,
Yeah,
for your mental state, for your physical state,
definitely.
even for your social state as well. Because I mean, even just
Hmm.
getting out, even though there wasn't that many people, because when it was the first lockdown, everybody was literally in their yards. But again, if I just walk past somebody, it was just nice to say hello to somebody and have that interaction. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
I just increased my walking. So my average walk per walk was 2 hours. So I ended up doing 4 hours walking a day. But
Wow.
then I was shooting
Brilliant.
but then I would do videos and encourage people, just to get out there, just to, enjoy nature, enjoy the birds singing, get out, enjoy the weather while it is nice. Because, one
Before
thing that,
before we go into your walking group, let me just
hmm,
say to the listeners, um, if you got any questions that you'd like to ask Patrick, just put it in the chat box and we will try our best to answer you. And also, I want to say thank you to Janet and also to Donna, who's sending some messages. If you got any messages of encouragement, please send them through. Thank you. Okay, Patrick, if you want to carry on about the walking group.
yeah, well, yeah. So I was posting videos because what I had actually done, because over 2019, especially the latter part, I'd say from autumn to Christmas, then
Yeah,
that's when it really became apparent that I'd lost weight and was continuing to lose weight. So I thought, what a good
okay.
thing it would be just to encourage my friends and family and people within
Yeah,
my network of people to do something that could help them if they were struggling to lose weight. So, so the group actually started as the 30-day challenge group, whereby
okay.
we just says, right, for 30 days, we'll see how much weight we can lose. And so that had about 36 members. But then
Wow.
obviously during lockdown, I was walking more, I was posting videos, and not necessarily in the group, but just generally, just trying to encourage
Okay.
people to get out there and walk while they can do it. Um, and then September, I decided, well, in between that, sorry, if I just backtrack slightly,
Yeah.
friends now started to call me, friends in my
Okay.
area, friends who I knew, asking when I was walking. And so I had little walking groups that I'd have on a Sunday afternoon, stroke
Okay.
evening, we go out and walk on a Tuesday. So that was happening as well. So now people were kind of getting to know me for walking. So I
Okay.
decided in August to change the name of the group to Walking to Wellness. So
That's
that's
it.
what I did. And then what happened? So that carried on, but I didn't really do that much. Just change the name of the group because I thought this is my focus now. In September, I thought, I just had the idea. What if we could do a challenge for people who are still struggling with their weight? Because obviously now they've seen the results that I've been able to get just by walking. Because gyms were closed, gyms had just started opening back up, but generally gyms, I hadn't been in a gym, and I'd been able to achieve what I had just by walking, and people had started to comment, and so I continued to encourage them. So I had the thought, if I actually put a challenge which would work out to about 3 months or just a little bit
Okay.
over, to see if people could lose at least a stone within 3 months. Because most people, I think, as an average, probably put on about half a stone to a stone during lockdown. That was what I seem to be
Yeah.
hearing and seeing as an average. So I thought, what a good way it would be if people could approach Christmas, because you know what happens Christmas, it's all about eating, drinking, and being merry.
And
So,
don't forget the cake. Don't forget the cake.
oh yeah, don't forget the cake as well. So I thought, wouldn't it be a good thing is if for the next 3 months people could encourage each other who
Yeah.
wanted to lose weight, and we could just all do it. We could all do it together. Um, so yeah, and what happened was I started inviting more people, but a lot of people just responded to, yeah, I'm in, I want to do it. So I just directed them to the page. So literally
Okay.
within 2, 3 weeks, or within a month, it shot up to about 1,000 plus just
And
in
I
four
was
weeks.
one of them. I was one of
Yes,
them. You
yes,
have
it was
inspired me
indeed,
immensely.
Michelle.
You have inspired me immensely. I'm always walking now. I try and walk at least 2 to 3 times a week. But
Yeah,
sometimes I can be a bit naughty because I'm a bit down. I don't feel like it, but I
yeah,
still try and get out at least once, between 1 to 3 times a week. But thank you
yeah,
for inspiring me and others as well.
yeah, definitely. And the group's growing. And what I love is it's kind of how I wanted the group to be. It's actually being that way, which is just people, ordinary people, encouraging each other, and that's what people love about the group. Because to be quite honest, probably now we're at over 2,000, and at least half of
Can't
those
believe
people,
that.
oh,
Wow.
and at least probably half of those people are people that I don't personally know or didn't know.
And
That
all
that
around the world as well. Some of
yeah,
them
and
all
it
around the world.
global, Australia, Canada, America, Portugal, Italy, France,
Hmm.
um, and there's even one friend told me that she has a walking group that I inspired. So she started a walking group with friends in Wales, and they don't
Wow.
even post on the page. But yeah, so there's a lot of outside influences that people are taking. So yeah, and it's just the family is growing. What can I say? Because we are really a family, and it's just growing and affecting lives. And I thank you again for, because again, knowing your story, once you did share some of it on the page, it was just like, wow. The likes of yourself and Hilma, shout out to
Yeah.
Hilma.
Oh,
I
thank
call her
you.
Superwoman. So yeah, and to everybody who are a part of the journey, of my journey, I'm a part of their journey now, and we're all a part of each other's journey. So I say to people, as much as they thank me for the inspiration, I'm being
Hmm.
inspired. The just having that accountability that I have,
Definitely.
I've spearheaded something that keeps me accountable, and
Hmm.
other people feel accountable as well. But yeah, thoroughly enjoy it, and we're going to take things to another level. Look, I'm wearing my t-shirt here,
Ooh,
and they
you
are
had to
soon.
do it. You had to do it. It looks
They
nice.
are.
I like it.
They're coming.
Yeah, I need to get myself one or two. Get one for my mum.
Yeah,
Actually, and one for my dad as well.
yeah.
We
What?
got a few messages. We got
Okay.
a few messages coming in. From Janet Dawkins. She said that you
Okay.
started the movement. You started the movement.
Okay. Thank you, Janet.
Okay. And from Donna Spence, she said, "What type of food do you eat now to maintain your weight?"
Okay, I try. Well, sugar is a big thing
Mm,
I try to get to have less of. I won't say that I've totally cut it from my diet, which in the ideal world I should do, and one day hopefully
definitely.
I will do. But yeah, mainly fish and chicken, um, red meat occasionally. I still love. I mean, one of the things I was saying is that I don't really demonize, even though we're getting educated now, and certain foods are not good for us. But
Yeah,
I don't tend to demonize food. What I say to people, it's just everything in moderation.
that's true.
Um, but we know that some foods are better than others. Sorry, but yeah, I tend to do fish, chicken quite a bit.
Okay.
But I pretty much still have, don't be surprised if you see me on the ramp in town and walking into McDonald's and think, hang on, isn't that Patrick? But again, as I'm getting educated on food, it's all about
Yeah.
making the right food choices.
And as
And
long as you don't have it all the time,
choices. Pardon?
as long as you don't have it all the time, now and
Yeah.
again, you can treat ourselves, can't we?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what, Michelle? I don't even class it as a treat, because the thing is
Okay.
that ca- I don't see it as a treat. I see my exercise and my walking as the treat, because we're actually
Okay.
guaranteeing doing something that is beneficial
Mhm.
to our bodies, and our bodies are thanking
Definitely.
us for it. So I
Yeah,
just see, if I decide I want a apple pie, I'll have it. But I try not to catch. Oh, I've been naughty, or I've had a treat. No, the treat
okay,
is going out and being able to walk and to exercise and to do something
that's
that is
true.
physically helping your body.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay, I got two more questions for you before we leave.
yeah,
Can you tell our listeners how they can join Walking to Wellness? Because as a transplantee, as a diabetic, I need to keep my well-being up. So
yeah.
can you tell the listeners how they can get in touch with yourself and how they can join the
Okay.
group?
We have, well, we're only on Facebook at the moment. I do have, because we are going to become a non-profit organization, so that is going to be the next step. So we'll have a
Okay,
website. And
that's
that,
great.
for the
That's
time
great
being,
news.
yeah, yeah. So for the time being, if you're on Facebook, you can hit me on there, or you can follow me like P White 689 on Instagram, and follow me on there. But Facebook is definitely the best way of reaching out, and inboxing me on there
Okay,
if you've got any questions, or whatever. And as you know yourself, as being part of the Walking to Wellness family, there's just a great bunch of people with
yeah,
different stories, inspiring stories like yourself.
yeah.
And again, just the encouragement level is just at such a height. Um, People are just happy to
And
join
not
and be a
forgetting yourself, you're the big inspirational person on this group now. Without
well, thank
you,
you
there
very
wouldn't be
much.
no group.
I aspire to inspire, so that's what I want to do, is just inspire people, because I know what it's like trying to lose weight, and the things mentally and psychologically and physically that you have to do to get there. So hence, I that's all I want to do, is just to inspire
Okay,
people, but challenge them at the same time to look at their health and their well-being, because you know how we are will affect everybody around us in one way or the other, whether it's because we're ill, or because we're looking after ourselves. No matter what, we will affect people around us in one way or the other. So it's better that we try and do it as positively as we can, and just be an example to those around us.
okay, thank you for that. Just want to say one more message from Janet Dawkins. She said that she likes the fact that Patrick keeps it real, eat well, but he shares the treats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
All things are almost transparent, and that's what it is, because again, perception is one of those things, is that I could post all I could post all the things to make people think, oh yeah, wow, he's really good, and which I am in general. But if I have a treat, I want people to see. Well, no, what? Sorry, I don't call them treat. But if I have something that people think, oh, I can't have that, I want to show people, yeah, you can have that. You can have, because the thing is, I love a bargain. So if I go to Iceland, farm foods, all them places, and you
Yeah,
see the cakes and the snacks, it's like sometimes it's hard to resist.
I
But
hear
again,
you.
it's just in moderation. But I'll share with the family that, hey, I've had this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Pray for me, or whatever. And it's just a bit of light banter, but at the same time, showing people that you don't have to cut out all the things that you love, unless you want to make that conscious decision to cut it out for whatever reason. But enjoy the things that you like, but just have less of it. That's all.
Okay. Okay. For that, our time's up, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to call you back onto the show. I've got so many questions to ask you. But
Oh,
I'd just like to say thank you for coming on the show. It's been
you're welcome.
amazing to
Thank
meet
you for the
you.
invite.
No problem, no problem. I'll call you back on. And I'd like to say thank you to all our listeners. And we will see you all next week. Thank you,
Okay,
Patrick.
then.
And see you
Bye
soon.
to
Thank
everybody.
you.
Big up to the
Bye.
GX crew and family. You're doing well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Some people have seen where God has brought you from. You don't really understand it. They don't know your story.